What's up? What's up? Let's talk for a minute. One of my homegirls was telling me, like, man, Serge, you would be a good role model. I was like, nah, I ain't a good role model. Mm-mm. But I can tell you some things, you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Growing up, I was a fuck up. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. I, I did okay in school, you know what I'm saying? I did my thing, but in life, I veered, or however you said, I went the wrong way. I was in the streets. I did my thing. Not trying to glorify it, but people who know me know when I was in the streets, hey, I wasn't, I did my thing. Like, hey, whatever city or state I was in, I got to it. Like, I wasn't no small fry. I was getting that bread, that real bread. We did our things. But I ain't trying to glorify that. But in business, I had people laugh at me in business. I had old girlfriends who, yeah, I believe in you. They ain't want to put no sweat equity into it. Like, let's go down that rabbit hole for a little bit. I remember I was trying to sell sex toys, right? So what I did, I spent like $500 on sex toys, but I was getting the toys for like $3 and $4, but they sell for like 50 and 60. Like it's a big markup when you got a real company, a EIN number and everything, and you go to the distributions, not to the wholesalers. You want to get the price that the wholesalers get it from. So I was going to the distribution, and they was boom boom. So I'm selling sex toys. I'm being low key with it, but people don't know I was really making a bag off selling sex toys. So I had this little chick I was messing with, right? I said, man, I want to go do something else. So why don't you take over this? You do the Facebook and Instagram and do the website and just keep promoting it. And all this is your company. I don't want to be known as the woman who sells sex toys. I don't want people looking at me like that. But what people didn't realize, I opened my books up to her. In the first year, I made like 30 grand. And I made people think that I had like maybe a couple of $100 worth of sex toys. But I was actually moving them units, right? So she didn't want to do it. So, what women don't understand, when you're dealing with an entrepreneur and you don't want to do something, you make him gravitate to somebody else or something else. Because it's like, man, you don't believe in me. You can't even believe in the dream. And I'm trying to put it on you. So if I put money in your pocket, you ain't got to ask me for nothing. That's the ultimate independence. So what happened is, I'm going to say what it did. I wind up messing around with another little chick. I put her on, and she gravitated to it. To this day, we talking 20 years in the game. To this day, she still getting money off of it. And, I just talked to her, right? Still getting money off of her. Me and her, the best of friends, even though we didn't last that long, but we the best of friends. And, she called me for marketing ideas. I give her what I got. We throw situations about each other. Bam. Shit was crazy. Then, rest in peace to my godfather, John Price, and his homie Ali. Was it Ali first? I don't remember because this 2013 and 2012 probably. I think Ali was first. Well, they was together. John, because I had a job. Notice I always kept a job. So Ali worked for this company called Threshold, right? So Threshold got a lot of mentally ill, challenged people that they help get into their own home and help them live on their own, but they can't keep the homes clean. You know what I'm saying? Because they mentally challenged. So Ali called me up on the job. Was like, "Hey, I got this house that need to be clean. I was wondering if you can clean it for me because it's kind of emergency." Well, I was in a building doing janitorial work anyway, and my godfather was the manager. So I was like, yeah, I could do it. I just don't got no supplies. My godfather nudged me while I was on the phone. He said, shook his head, yes, you do. I said, okay, yeah, I could do it. What time to be there, whatever. He said, whatever you need, go take from the building and go do that job. So I'm green to the game. I'm not even, I'm not, I don't know prices or nothing. So I go do my 1-2 on the crib. I clean it out. She called me. She's so thankful and stuff. Boom, because they did the inspection. Boom. Remind me, this is back in 2013, 14, right? Um, Ali called me up. She said, so who I make the check out to? I was like, oh, um, my name, Cornell Pillar. She was like, you don't have a company? I was like, nah. She was like, boy, talk to John and get you a company. So she sent me the check. Now, this 2014. The check was like $1,100, right? Let me just tell y'all, for one day's work, and you get paid $1,100 for about 3 hours worth of work, that's a lot of money. Just damn fly. I'm at the job now. That's why I had to take off my shirt to make the video. But yeah, that was like $1,100, man. You couldn't have told me shit. So I called Ali. I told her, like, thank you. You know, I got the check. Because she didn't even tell me how much the check. The check came in the mail. And I kind of, you know how you forget about shit. 3-4 days later, the check came in the mail. I was like, God. Oh, man, it was like income tax, if y'all know what I mean. Because I'm still getting paid for my regular job. Right? So I talked to my godfather, John Price. And then he was like, hey, I got this lawyer. He going to do your EIN number and all that. And I was like, what is going to cost me? He said, boy, it ain't going to cost you shit. I'm your godfather. So boom. Now I got New Birth janitorial service going up. Now we doing like 3-4 a week, but the checks got up. They got up to like $1,600. Plus I'm working my 40 hours. Like I'm not having a money situation, right? So I'm doing my 1-2. I'm doing my 1-2 with that. And I'm dating somebody else. I try to pull her on with me to do this. She do 1 or 2 units. Oh, this too nasty. Now, and this the crazy shit. It's me and her. I'm showing her the check, and I'm splitting them 50-50. Like if it's $1,100 check, boom, you got $550, I got $550. It's $1,600, you got $8, I got $8. You know what I'm saying? Because we together, so we partners. She was like, these cribs too nasty. I can't do it no more. So I was like, I bet. Plus, she ain't got no other job. So now I felt like I'm being used. Y'all can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I'm working 40-hour job and then it's the after work. So I felt like I'm being used. So I wind up, boom. I'm working at the building and we got this carpet cleaning service, right? They coming in, they cleaning the carpets in the building, right? And I had another dude, damn, I just talked to him the other day. Dwayne used to do the carpet in the building. This other dude, right? So I'm watching them. But you know, I worked 3 jobs at the company. Like I did the maintenance because that was my official job. So I got a check for that. But I did security, but security got paid less. So I got another check for that. So when security couldn't be there, I'd be there for that. And sometimes I worked in the office. Man, I seen the checks Dwayne was getting for them carpets. Oh, no. So I just kept paying attention to them. I was just paying attention to how they did it. Boom. So I bought me a machine. Once I bought me a machine, it was like, hey, give me your worstest carpet. I know you got carpet cleaners. I'm talking to my godfather. I said, I know you got carpet cleaning people in the building already. But I would do the worst carpet for free. I did it for free. I said, but look, then you could choose me or them. So Dwayne and this other dude, they came in, they did a carpet, they was the regular dudes. Man, I came in and I smoked that carpet, right? Boom. So now I got the contract. Now I got New Birth. Look, I got New Birth janitorial service. Then I got New Birth carpet cleaning service. So I'm eating now. I'm really eating because now I'm getting a check for doing maintenance. I'm getting a check from doing security. And when I pull in, because security and the office workers got lesser pay, but I didn't care. I lived in the building. Hey, I'm going to do everybody's job. Just give me 3 separate checks. I don't care. Boom. Now I'm getting the carpet cleaning job checks. And I'm still doing that building to this day. So I'm eating. I'm trying to teach people how to do carpet, even my own sons. Nah, that's too hard of a work. What? But they was listening to their mama. You know, hey, I can't force them to do nothing. So I'm like, cool, bet it up. So, like I said, I'm still doing it. But I'm trying to push these jobs on everybody else. Nobody want to listen to me. So here's the moral to this whole conversation. They saying you study rattling. I done started so many businesses. I done hit restaurants. I'm finna start Cornell's Kitchen. It's coming soon. I got t-shirt company. I done started a couple of people in the family and stuff with the t-shirt. But I want to say I didn't start them. Because let me give y'all the game. I got 3 cousins. That's my inspiration when it comes to the t-shirt game. My cousin Jason Pillow, Lewis Pillow, a.k.a. Mushande Pillow, because he changed his name, but, you know, for people who don't know. And my other cousin, Andrew Pillow. They used to go around to all the HBCUs and sell t-shirts. I was a younger cousin. I couldn't, you know, move like that. But I used to watch them go out of town. I used to watch them come back, pack up t-shirts, box them up, ship them in and out of town. And they was making a hell of money. Let me just say that. They was doing that. So it's always been my thing. Right? So my cousin Andrew, who I give my biggest props to, we had a family reunion. You know, I kind of invested in him so he could do it. But I watched him. I mean, you know, you got to pay attention. I watched him, how he was using the cutting machine, how he was pressing the shirts and stuff. And then I was like, all right, let me start YouTubing this shit. Boom. I started YouTubing. I learned how to do it myself. Then I came up with New Vision Apparel. That was my clothing line. Still is. I still own it. Still getting a little money off of it. And I started doing my thing with it. Woo wop the bam. I'm doing a few years. Website up, doing good. Man, it was really good, doing good. But then I turned around, started a construction company. So now I'm running back and forth up to Michigan, you know, doing rehabs and shit. And in Chicago, I'm doing rehabs. And then I started doing them in Indiana. So I'm moving, but I'm still got everything going. Then I got my baby girl, rest in peace to Tonisha. I taught her the game. Man, did I teach that girl the game. Like, she did her numbers. Like, she surpassed me in numbers, rest in peace. So her clothing line was Hustle Butterfly. Once I got on the website and then she could start, you know, doing the order, shipping them out back and forth, it was over. It was over. And then, you know, she got a couple of contracts like with Amazon. Ooh, her uncle is going to kill me. What's her uncle name? Joy husband. God damn, he gonna kill me. Like, I respect this dude so much. Ray, her uncle named Ray. They used to live out in Arizona. He got her hooked up with Amazon, so she doing numbers with Amazon plus her own stuff. Like, real shit. I mean, that's what you call a family plug. Ray, he don't know how many times, you know, because my daughter was disabled. She got disabled from a vaccine shot. But it gave her something to do, and having her own company gave her a purpose. So she worked hard and diligent on that. Like, her numbers surpassed my numbers. Like, she was really getting it. Like, I still got her not W-2s, but her tax paper, her 1099s. Like, her last year, she cleared like 38. Now think about what I'm saying. She cleared 38 grand. That's profit, not, you know, you got to take out for this. That was profit after, you know what I'm saying? Everything was titled up, you know, because she was, man, hey, she did her numbers. So the way I structured her company, it was still my company because she was disabled, getting disability. So it was my company on paper and on a checking account, but I let her run it and I let her spend the money. And did that girl spend some money? I said, God damn, you spent some money. But she was able to live a good life because of the t-shirt company. And I still own a company and I'm about to revitalize it. So Hustle Butterfly is coming back. But it's like, I taught my cousins them how to do it because my other cousins taught me how to do it. I didn't hold no game back. I got a couple of friends I put on. And then when they started seeing the numbers, they be like, man, I never knew it was this much money in it. But think about it. Everybody wear t-shirts. Everybody. And the funny thing is, speaking of t-shirt, like this Bissy Lago t-shirt I got on, I work downtown on the Gold Coast, right around the corner. They can't tell a difference, and I'm up here where the store at. But let me go to the hood. Everybody be like, oh, you made that. Oh, you made that. Like it's a downsize, you know what I'm saying? Even I got some family members like, oh, that's whack. You made that. That's smack. Whack. But I got people buying them every day. They don't think it's whack. So that's why I tell you, sometimes you can't rely on your friends and family when it's come to business. You know, because they gon' shoot it down, tell you it ain't shit, but then it's a product that somebody else gonna buy, and then they gonna love it, and then they gonna still be your customer for life. But if I'd have listened to some of my family and friends, I'd have gave up. You can't give up. And I think that's the reason why I'm making this video. Every moment I try something different, I don't give up. I keep on pushing. You know, even though like the numbers, like even with the construction, sometimes you got to learn your peaks. In the wintertime, be my slow months in construction. In the summer and spring, sometime in the fall, I make bread. I make a lot of money. So I know my peaks. So in the wintertime, I'm going to start selling jogging suits, you know, and some t-shirts, because I make a lot of money on t-shirts, or I'm going to be cooking. Like I told you, Cornell's Kitchen is coming back real soon. You know, and it's just like, you got to find a rhythm in business. It's not always going to be up. There'll be some ups and there's some downs. But you got to keep on pushing. So that's why my homegirl was like, yeah, you'll be a good role model. I'll be like, nah, I'm going to be able to tell a cat to keep working. Don't listen to people who say that ain't going to work. You got to keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? People used to tell me, oh, you went to this school, you weren't going to be nothing. You lived in this neighborhood, you weren't going to be nothing. I might not be a millionaire, but I'm going to tell y'all some real facts. I'm damn sure a bunch of thousandaires, a bunch of them, you know what I'm saying? I might not look like it. I might play broke. Well, trust and believe me, we got some thousands and some savings. We all right. And it ain't even about the money. Let me just say that. Because I done took on jobs, especially in construction, because I like building. I like working with my hands. I like building. That I didn't make that much of a profit. I just took on the job so I can get it done and it give me something to do. Sometimes it ain't about making $1 million or $1 billion. And that's what we got to realize. It ain't no instant success in nothing. You got to start somewhere small and crawl your way up. Because if you get the money real quick, it's going to leave real quick. I learned that from hustling on the street. You know, I made a lot of money. People see me. I had alligator shoes, tailor-made suits. Man, I was doing my thing, riding in slick cars and all that. But you know what? All the money I was making, as soon as I get to a certain point, I caught a case. Had to pay lawyer. Had to bond out because I didn't ever sit in jail. One day only, sitting in jail. I had money to bond out. And then my pay came back down there. I built it back up. Catch another case. Man, lawyer, bond out. You know, I only can get a certain high. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. Like some of you guys, they ain't gonna tell these young cats. It got so bad one time, I had to sell my car to pay my lawyer off. Real shit. And that's facts. I had to sell my car and pay my lawyer off. And then I got back up, and my lawyer used to always, I ain't gonna say trip on me, but he used to always be like, man, you know my daughter in college, she still drive that little Park Avenue I got from you. And I used to be like, that was my baby. That was my baby, that Park Avenue. But I had to get rid of it so I could pay him so I could be free. That was my end game. I never been to prison, so I always paid the lawyer. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all don't know about that. Some of y'all don't know about somebody running off with a 4.5 or 8 piece, and then you got to bounce back and re-up, and you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't believe in fronts. I pay my way. And that's another thing. All my businesses, search the records, no bank loans, No grant money, bootstrap everything. You know what I'm saying? I scrape my pennies together, boom. Like, for instance, what people don't understand about contractors, say I get a job that's $60,000, $70,000, right? I gotta have the money for the material in the bank already. I gotta have the money for my payroll in the bank already. I already carry $2 million worth of liability insurance, so I had to pay that shit. So I gotta have money in play to take a job. So what we call in the game on the street, I gotta have my re-up money in the bank already. Cause one thing people gonna tell you about me, especially in Benton Harbor, Michigan, and other places around there, ain't none of my payroll ever bounced. None of my payroll checks. Cause I'm gonna make sure before I take on a job, certain amount of money I'm gonna have in the bank right there. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, and I do good business with people, not just people, but my employees too. If I hire you for something, I tell you you're gonna get paid this amount, this or that. That's what you get paid. Now, don't get me wrong. I have had some falling out with some people in business. So this is the reason why, and we talk about this. They mad at me now, but say I get you a job and I say, hey, I know what the job pay. But I say, hey, what you charge me to do this job? And you tell me I need $1,500. And I'm gonna say, okay, you need $1,500 to do this job? I know what I'm getting paid. So you do the job, you do it well, I pay you your $1,500. And this is exactly what happened. Later on, a couple months later, my man run into the chick I did the job for. Now I paid him $1,500, but she gave me $6,000. I would have paid him more if he had asked me for more, but he didn't. He only asked me for $1,500. I gave him what he asked for. That's just good business. If you'd have asked me for more, I would have. You're like, but you could have gave me. No, I satisfied your need. You needed $1,500. I needed this job done. I gave it to you with no problems. But you mad at me because she paid me more. You can't please everybody. But what he can't say is he didn't get paid what he asked for. But the moral to this, I'm just running, is you can't give up on your dreams. Real shit, you can't give up on your dreams. So I got y'all in for about 20 minutes. Can y'all please do me a favor? Go to Cornell Pillow Talk on YouTube and just subscribe. It don't cost you nothing, not a quarter. It don't cost you a quarter. Just subscribe, because I'm trying to get my YouTube up. Thank you.